this is Sarah with Posh Pooch Designs, and today's video I'm going to show you how to make this fun and festive pumpkin cozy for your coffee cup or coffee mug. And the really cool thing about this is, even though I've made it like a pumpkin, you can make it in any color, and you don't have to put the little leaf on there if you don't want to. Another really cool thing about it is it's not just a cozy, it's also a coaster. It's got the full bottom. We start in the circle and we work our way up, and then we use a button and it stays put. Totally washable. Now I made this one in Red Heart, Super Saver, Orange, and Green. Worsted weight number 4. You can totally make it in cotton if you want to. Now this is a brand new release, free pattern on my blog. And the reason I wrote this pattern is I wanted to have a pumpkin coffee cup, and I had one for years and I couldn't find it. And we've moved a couple of times since I've used it, and so I thought I would just make one that will go on any coffee cup, and I can wash it and I'll always have it. So what you're going to need to make this cute little coffee cup is a couple of colors of worsted weight yarn or cotton, and today we're using Red Heart with Love, and I chose to go with this more squashy colory orangey gold and a more muted green just for fun, so that it looks a little different. You're also going to need an H hook, and of course those of you who watch my videos know this is my favorite purple H hook. You're going to need a needle, and you're also going to need a pair of scissors. Now this is, like I said, this is a free pattern on my blog, and I'll put that in the comments so you can go and get those stitch counts and just have it to look at. Alrighty, are you ready to get started? Alright, the first thing we're going to do is start at the bottom of our cozy. We're going to start with the circle and work our way out, and then we'll do the sides. So the first thing you need to do is chain 2, and then we're going to place 8 double crochets in the second chain from the hook. 8 double crochets in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me pull some more yarn out here. And now we're going to join to the top of the first double crochet with a slip stitch. And we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So we have 8 double crochets in our center. All right. So we chained 3, and this chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. And we're going to put one more double crochet in that same stitch. And then we're going to place 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets around, and that will give us a total of 16 double crochets. So we've stitched 16 double crochets. We're going to join to the top of that chain 3 and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now for row 3, we're going to put 1 double crochet again in that same stitch as our chain 3. Then we're going to put 1 double crochet in the next stitch. And then we'll put another double crochet in that next stitch. And basically we're doing the same thing that we did on R2. We're putting 2 double crochets in each double crochet around. And this is going to give us a nice flat base for the bottom of our coaster, cozy, or cozy coaster, whichever you want to call it. So we will put 2 double crochets in each double crochet around, and that will give us a total of 32 double crochets. So now we've put 2 double crochets in each double crochet around. We join to the top of our first chain 3, and now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to begin working up from the bottom to form the sides. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be working in the back loops for the first row, and we're going to place 1 double crochet in the back loops of each double crochet. And to find your front and back loops, you can see there's a braid. And when you've got 2 loops here on the top, and when you're working, the loop that is closest to you is your front loop, and the loop that is away from you is your back loop. And we're going to place 1 double crochet in each of only the back loops all the way around. And this is beginning to make our first row going up the sides of our little cozy coaster. So I'm only working in the back loops, and this is going to make it stand up, and you'll see that there will be a line of like stitches that are unworked all the way around, and that's going to help our coaster sit up. So 1 double crochet in the back loop of each double crochet around. And when we get around, we're not going to join. We're going to be turning in order to leave this slot here for our cup ear. So 1 double crochet in the back loop of each double crochet around. So we've worked 1 double crochet in each double crochet all the way around in the back loops, and you can see that's going to help the coaster stand up, and we're working up the sides. Now do not join here. This is forming the opening for the ears. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to turn, and we're going to put 1 double crochet. We're no longer working in the back loops. We're going to put 1 double crochet. The chain 3 counts as our first stitch, so we'll put 1 double crochet in the next stitch. And now we're going to do what's called a back post double crochet. And the way we do that is these are the posts, and we're going to be stitching around that post instead of the stitch. And that's going to give us these lines that we have to kind of make it look like a pumpkin. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap our yarn around. We're going to go through, move that yarn so you can see it. We're going to go all the way through the post. Bring my yarn back over. And we're going to draw a loop through, and then we'll just make a regular double crochet like we usually do. And then the next 2 stitches, we're going to make regular double crochets. 1, 2. And then in the next stitch, we're going to do the back post double crochet again. And we'll continue this all the way around, 2 double crochets, and then 1 back post double crochet. So now you can see where we did our back post double crochet. We did 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 all the way around, and then you should have 2 double crochets at the end, and then we're going to chain 3 and turn. And we're going to repeat this. Only difference is we're going to be putting 1 double crochet, chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and then we'll put another double crochet. But instead of doing a back post double crochet, we're doing a front post double crochet because we want to keep the bump or the line on the front side. So we'll go around the front post and make our double crochet around. And then we'll do 2 double crochets in those 2 double crochets. And then we'll make a double crochet front post. And we'll continue this all the way around just like we did the previous row. All right, so we've done row 2, 2 double crochets, front post all the way around. And now we're going to repeat row 5 again. And row 5 was the back post. And we're going to continue row 5, row 6, row 5, row 6, up through 9 rows. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to do 3 more rows, alternating the back post and the front post so that our little bumps here stay on the outside. If we were to do back post on all of them, we'd have the back post on the back, then the front, then the back, then the front. And that's why it's called front post, back post. This is actually a really great project if you've never done a front post or a back post to practice on. All right, so let's go get started on our next row. We've got our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, so we're going to double crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to stitch that back post. And so we're going to move that string so you can see. We're going to go around that back post of the stitch and double crochet. Then we'll double crochet in the next 2. Just like we did before, so that the bump, like I said, stays on the outside. And we're going to repeat 5, 6, 5, 6, 5 through row 9. We'll end on repeating our 5, which is the back post. So we're going to have up through R9, and then we'll put our trim on, and I'll show you how to do the trim and the button loop. So now you can see we've done our 5 rows. We're going to go ahead and clip that yarn off, and we're going to change to our green. There we go. Had a little trouble finding the end. I thought I had it pulled out. All right, so we don't want to chain 3, so we're going to take that chain 3 out. We're going to join our green yarn, just pull a loop through, snug that down, and pull a loop through there and snug that down. And we'll have to weave those ends in. So what we're going to do is we're going to place 1 single crochet in the top all the way around. And this is just so that we have a nice edge and it kind of looks like the top of the pumpkin. Or in this case, squash. Although pumpkins are all different colors, and that's why I like to use different shades of orange. All right, so we're going to put 1 single crochet in the top of each stitch around. So now we've stitched 1 single crochet in each stitch around the top of our pumpkin. And so what we need to do is make a button loop. And how we do that is we're going to chain 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to join back right here to that first chain with a slip stitch, and then we'll tie off. We'll cut that yarn. And of course we'll need to weave this and these in with a needle. But what we need to do next is sew on a button. And I chose this button. You're going to need about a 1-inch button. I don't know that I gave the size of the button at the beginning. And I like to use the buttons that have the 2 holes, but 4 holes are fine too. I just like them better for some reason. And these need to be worked in, so we're just going to hold those out of the way. We'll place our button on there. I've already got my yarn threaded onto my needle, and we're just going to go up from behind. Get my button back on there. You want it to jump off. And one thing to remember when you're sewing on a button to crochet, make sure when you're sewing through that you're sewing through a stitch, not a hole, because a hole will just pull it through and it won't keep it snug. All right, and I'll do that a couple of times and then I'll tie it in the back. All righty. Well, it looks like I have some weaving in to do, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that, and then I'm going to show you how to make the little curl and the little stem for decoration. Now I tidied my ends in, got them all sewn in so there isn't any strings hanging. I got my buttons sewed on, and you can see this makes a great koozie, cozy, however you want to call it, with the built-in coaster. So you could make this in any color and it would be wonderful. It'd be a great gift. Make this neat little koozie, cozy, put some little coffee beans or something inside, wrap it up. Be a great gift. And that's wonderful, but I'm going to show you how to make the little curly leaves so we can make it look like a pumpkin. And so we're going to need our green yarn. Move my needle out of the way there, and our H hook again. And what you're going to do is you're going to chain 13. And then in the second chain from the hook, you're going to place 3 half double crochets. So 1, 2, there's 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to place 3 half double crochets in every chain across. And this is going to make it nice and curly, but not too big. It's a nice, using half double crochets makes the curl nice and tight. And you can see it's already starting to curl up there. There we go. 1, 2, 3. The curl's starting to get in the way and I'm having a hard time stitching around it. I love making curls. I used to make these all the time when my daughter was little for her hair. All right. A few more stitches here. Keep our curl going. Now, of course, if you want your curl to be a little bit smaller, you can there it goes, right in my face. There you go. Okay. Now, like I said, if you want your curl to be shorter, you can do it shorter. If you want it to be longer, you can do it longer. Alrighty. Now we're moving along. I thought this yarn was Red Heart with Love, but it feels a little bit thinner, so I'm wondering if it's just Red Heart of another kind. I don't have the labels on those anymore. All right, last one. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and you're going to join that right in that same stitch, and that just kind of closes it down on the end. And then you're going to chain 5. And this part is going to make the little stem. We've got our curl, and now we're going to make our little stem. So we chained 5, and we're going to slip stitch in the second chain from that end, and we're going to make 4 slip stitches. 2, 3, 4. And now that made just a little stem. Okay, and now we're going to cut that off. Like that. And what I do is I weave in the end I started with when I started the curl, and I go ahead and I just turn that over and just weave that into some of those curls so it stays put. Clip that off. And then I use this other end where we ended with the stem to sew it on to here. And let me take this off the coffee mug. There we go. I'm going to pop that button out. And it's kind of up to you where you want to put it. And something I realized on this one, I put it too far over there. When I go to get a drink, my mouth's right here. So I decided I want to put it on this end instead. Because if you put it on the button side, it's too close to where you get a drink. And so you probably want to put it on the other side. And so what we're going to do is thread our needle. And you want to make sure that stem sits up. So I'm just going to set it about right there. And I'm just going to go back and forth through the stem and the top of that curl just a couple of times so that it holds in place. Like that. Turn it over. Just make sure I got a few more stitches. And then I'll just weave that end in. So it's nice and tidy. And I will tell you the key, especially if you're going to give a gift and when you're making something for someone else. See, this is just a mug I had on hand. Is that things need to be nice and tidy. Because people love homemade gifts, but if strings are hanging out and I did that the wrong way. There we go. And that it just doesn't look nice and tidy, then they're going to go, oh, I got another homemade gift. So weaving in those ends is very, very important. And it's also important to use a needle. I mean, you can use your hook and other ways of stitching it in, but having it so that it looks neat and tidy, and I always just like using a needle. I think it just works best. All right, so here is our pumpkin, cozy, and coaster. Now I have 2 pumpkin cozies I can drink coffee out of for Halloween, fall, and Thanksgiving. Isn't this fun? I just love it.